Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video we are going to look at how to use the Mysterium DVPN network to actually make money, and by sharing other people's IP address using the Deeper Connect network. So with that, let's dive in. So what you'll be getting from this video is that this is a very high level overview of the setup. I'm not going to dive into detail the technical setup in this video. If you need to learn how to set up the Deeper Connect network and the Mysterium node, then please leave a comment on the video below, and I'll do another video on the setup itself because the setup will be quite technical. So basically what we are trying to do here is selling and sharing of other people's IP address, and we'll take a look at Deeper Connect network versus the Mysterium DVPN, and how do we make money from selling other people's IP address. So is this legal or ethical? So sharing other people's IP address on Mysterium DVPN network, and which IP address to share using the Deeper Connect network. And then we'll break down of the equipment needed and the cost involved, and how to identify which IP address to share, and how to share any country IP address. Even if you are in another location, it doesn't matter. You can share an Australia IP when you are in the United States, so that doesn't matter. Do feel free to skip to any part of this section. I will put the timestamp in the description of the YouTube video. So with that, let's get started. Selling and sharing of IP address. This is not something new. In fact, there's several different options out there that you can sell and share your IP address or bandwidth of the internet. But the most popular one is Deeper Connect network and Mysterium DVPN. So it can be a good passive income, especially when you have a high internet speed and unlimited bandwidth. So if you are not against the idea of sharing your IP address, then you can use both Deeper Connect network and Mysterium network to maximize your earning. I have always been against the idea of sharing my IP address with unknown people from the other side of the world. So for me personally, I will never share my IP address for any kind of incentive or to make money. So let's take a deeper look at Deeper Connect network versus the Mysterium network. So for Deeper Connect network, you need to purchase a Deeper Connect network device. So the cheapest one that you can get is the Deeper Connect Pico plus the Wi-Fi adapter. And in order for you to start earning money on the Deeper Connect network, you need to stake the DPR. And the more you stake, the higher your reward. So if you just take the minimum, then you're not getting much out of this. So the cost involved here is very high if you want to earn some decent return. And for Mysterium DVPN, you can actually use your existing PC or laptop to start earning, which I don't recommend. Or you can get a cheap or used second-hand mini PC, laptop, or Raspberry Pi. You can only earn money when other people use your IP, and if nobody uses your IP, then you'll be earning nothing from this. And the startup cost for Mysterium DVPN can be very low. So can we make money without sharing our IP address? In these two scenarios, we are talking about sharing our IP address and sharing our bandwidth to earn money. Basically, bandwidth is fine because in Singapore, we have a very high-speed internet and we have unlimited bandwidth. So bandwidth is not an issue. The issue here is the IP address. So how can we make money without sharing our own IP address? Let's get started. Basically what we are going to do is we are going to share other people's IP address using the Deeper Connect network. So this high-level plan overview is we will use other people Deeper Connect network IP address and share it using the Mysterium network. The question now is this legal or ethical? When you purchase a Deeper Connect network, you are entitled to use other people's IP address freely without sharing your IP address. By default, when you purchase a Deeper Connect network and you start using it, the sharing is turned on automatically. But you can turn it off. But if you want to make money from Deeper Connect network, then basically you need to stake DPR. That means you need to, apart from the device, you need to buy DPR token and stake them. And you have to share your bandwidth and IP address before you can start earning. So when somebody want to make money from Deeper Connect network, they are basically sharing their IP address. And they know what they are getting into. And they have agreed to share their IP address to unknown people all over the world. So there's nothing illegal or whether is this ethical or not. But what we are going to do is we are going to use this other person IP address and sell the bandwidth on Mysterium network. When you first get your Deeper Connect device, the first thing you want to do is here, turn off the sharing. So now you are not sharing your IP address or your bandwidth. With that, let's get started. So the setup and the equipment needed, I want to keep everything to the minimum and most cost effective. We need a Deeper Connect network device. So the best device to use is Deeper Connect Pico plus a Wi-Fi adapter, as this will be the cheapest option and does not require an additional power point because you can power up this Pico by using a USB cable. Now we also need a separate PC or laptop. Personally, I'm using a mini PC and that's ideal for me. It doesn't have to be a new one. Just get a second-hand model off eBay will do. And if you are just setting up for this project only, you do not need a high-end PC. Even a Raspberry Pi will do the tricks. I suggest to get a PC or laptop, and we can use this PC or laptop to do other kind of stuff at a later stage if you decided to. Like pre-search node, we can run Mysterium network and pre-search node together at the same time on one single PC. Or any other project or other stuff that you want to run on this PC, you can do that. Because the Mysterium network use very little resources. So the PC can be used to run other tasks as well. Breakdown of the cost of the eBay price. Deeper Connect Pico plus a Wi-Fi adapter will cost you about $150. A mini PC or laptop will probably cost you about $150. So the total cost involved to run this project is about $300. And if everything else fails, you can always sell back this item on eBay. So it won't be a total loss. And personally, I think that Deeper Connect Pico plus Wi-Fi is a good investment for a lifetime VPN. And then for a mini PC or laptop, if Mysterium doesn't work, this mini PC or laptop can always be used for something else. And this is how we are going to connect the setup. So basically we have one power socket and we only need to use one. You're going to connect your laptop, mini PC or Raspberry Pi, it doesn't matter which option you choose, to this power point here. And for the Deeper Connect Pico plus Wi-Fi adapter, you're going to power this device up using a USB cable. And this USB cable is going to plug into your laptop. So with that, we only need one single power socket. And we can power up this device. Like I mentioned, turn off your sharing on this Deeper Connect Pico. and we are just going to use other people's IP address. And then once you are connected to this Pico, which is connected to other people's IP address, then we'll be running the Mysterium app to sell other people's IP address. And this laptop will be connected to the Deeper Connect network. This laptop is not going to connect to your home Wi-Fi, because if you are connected to your home Wi-Fi, then you are sharing your own IP address. That's what we want to do in this case here. We want to connect to the Deeper Connect network, and this Deeper Connect network is connected to another person's IP address. So to break it down, we are going to use only one power socket. We connect a laptop, mini PC, Raspberry Pi. It doesn't matter which device you are using. So we connect the Deeper Connect Pico plus Wi-Fi adapter to our laptop using a USB cable. And then this Deeper Connect Pico is connected to other people's IP address in any country that you wish. Laptop will be connected to this Deeper Connect network. So now our laptop, for this purpose, is routed to other people's IP address. Once this is done, we can run the Mysterium DVPN app and start sharing our bandwidth and IP address. But that is not your IP address, because that is somebody else's IP address. And we only want to connect to residential IP address, as data center IP is not worth much in the Mysterium network. So use this website to check if the IP address is a residential IP or a data center IP. I'll post this link in the description below. So on this whatismyipaddress.com website, if this is a data center IP address, you can see from here network sharing device. And if you click on the IP address itself, then we can see from here the services. This is a data center. That is how we tell this is a data center IP address. And let's now take a look at a residential IP address. Let's try Singapore. So basically, the one with a R beside it, this tell you that this is a residential IP address. Okay, so now we are connected to this IP address, and let's take a look at the whatismyipaddress.com again. So we are going to refresh this website, and so this is the IP address. And so the ISP over here stated that this is a StarHub Cablevision, and we click on this IP address here under services. This tells you that none detected, so this is not a data center. This is a residential IP address. So that is how we tell whether are you connected to a residential IP address or a data center IP. Now to the most important step, which IP address to share. So what we want to do is take a look at this Mysterium network leaderboard to see which country has earned the most amount of money. And this is a link to go. MysteriumNode.com/leaderboard. I'll post this link in the description below. So this is the website. And we'll go on to the Discover network. And then we'll go to this leaderboard over here. So this is a top 100 earner from this Mysterium network. So we can see that the top one is United States. They have shared 38 terabyte of data transfer. That is a lot. And then we scroll down, we can see that United Kingdom is the second country that people use the most. And then followed by Malaysia. And that is something very interesting. And then we have all the different countries following it. And then we see Malaysia again. So it is all between USA, UK, Malaysia. And then we have some other country like France, Italy, and we have Germany, all this going on, and then we see another Malaysia. So I wanted to see how many Malaysia are in this top 100. So let's try and see how many Malaysia. So the first one, second one, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7. So out of this top 100, Malaysia occupied 7 spots. And why do I mention Malaysia? Okay, I mention Malaysia is because Malaysia only has 60 plus nodes. Okay, if you try to share a United States IP address, then the United States is the top, followed by the United Kingdom. But United States has over 2,000 nodes running on the Mysterium network. And then you are going to compete with this 2,000 nodes. Of course, there's a mixture of data center and residential, but you are competing with 2,000 nodes. And then for the UK, there's 500 nodes running. And for Malaysia, there's only 60 plus nodes running. And the top earner in the top 100 leaderboard occupied 7 space. That means out of this 100, 7 of them belong to Malaysia. And if you were to join in the Malaysia, then it is still only going to plus 1 node. But of course, after this video is released, maybe a lot of people will follow this video and more people will join in the Malaysia network. I'm not sure. So now let's take a look at the Mysterium network. So in total, there's 7,800 or about 8,000 nodes running right now. If you look at United States, there's 2,300 nodes running. And if you try to share a United States bandwidth, then you are going to compete with this 2,000 nodes. And then for UK, there's 500 nodes running. So how about we try Thailand? Because Thailand only have 30 nodes. And if we can get a spot in Thailand, which we are using another deeper connect network and we connect to Thailand, there's very little competition. But remember, going back to this top 100, Thailand is not in the list. So in this top 100, we have US, UK, Malaysia. And so let's take a look at the Malaysia. So Malaysia only have 62 nodes running. So if you can get a IP address from Deeper Connect network and share it, then you are going to occupy 1 node in this Malaysia. And I'm not sure why. There's a lot of people that is using Mysterium network is connected to this Malaysia. That is how you can get your pie of cake in the Malaysia network. And let's take a look over here. We are not going to look at the United States, the top earner, because you won't be able to get a spot there. But let's take a look at this Malaysia. So this particular node have shared about 8 terabyte of data transfer, and that is how much he earned. 883 miss. So let's convert that and see how much is that. So that is about $150 US per month. If you're able to get into the top 11 spot, that means you're sharing more than this person, then you can get $150. So even on the low end side, let's say on the 68 spot, you are just sharing 2 terabyte of bandwidth, you are getting 203 miss. So with that, you're still earning about $36 by sharing other people IP address. You're going to use some of your bandwidth, but the IP address is from another person. So like I mentioned, it doesn't matter whether you're in the United States, Australia, Canada, you can connect your deeper connect to a Malaysian node. And then using the Mysterium, you can share it. So that is the secret to maximize the earning on the Mysterium network. So it is quite obvious to use a Malaysia IP and not a United States, UK, or even some other country, not even Singapore, not even Thailand or Taiwan. There's no China IP. If you are able to get a China IP, that is going to be very valuable. China has blocked the deeper connect, so people in China is not able to use the deeper connect network, so we are not going to get a China IP address using this method. So for now, Malaysia is the best bet at the time of recording this video. And then you want to do a speed test to make sure that the network you are connected is of reasonable speed, because if it's too slow, then people is not going to connect to your IP. And then make sure the network that you are going to connect is a residential IP and not a data center IP. That's it. So if you like the video so far, please hit the like button and subscribe button and post in the comment section. And let's take a look at the eBay now. So if you are going to get a deeper connect Pico plus Wi-Fi adapter, so what is the price right now roughly on the market? So we are going to, this is a buy it now, so you can get as low as $80. Or in general, the price is about $120 to $130 USD for this Pico plus Wi-Fi adapter. So you'll need that. And then we can just search for a used laptop running on Windows. So you can get any of this. Even a Windows 7 is going to run fine at $80, but I would suggest you get something that is Windows 10, because you may need this PC for other purpose in the future. So personally, I don't use a laptop, but I use a mini PC, because that is going to save me some space. So we can see if you are getting a mini PC, this may be a little bit slow, because I wanted something that I'm going to use it in the future for other purpose. So I will get something that is better than this Celeron chips, maybe a i3 or i5. And we can see this one basically is a i3 6th generation processor with a 60 gig SSD, and this is probably going to be fine. Of course, it doesn't come with a monitor, keyboard and mouse, so you probably have to use your existing monitor, keyboard, mouse setup, and then install a TeamViewer or use a remote desktop connection in future to remote in. If that is too much of a trouble for you, then I suggest you just get a laptop and then just connect the Pico to your laptop, and then you can start sharing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like the video, please subscribe and share, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.